Hey everyone, what's up? It's Colin from ECF here, just making another video. This night it's gonna be my first review video, first full review video. So bear with me here. I'm just learning the process of making a review video, so I apologize if this goes a little long or anything like that. If anybody can guess the movie that I'm watching, I'll give you a high five. And we'll also be doing a giveaway with this video. I'll be giving away one of the Yocan Favotanks, which is what I'm reviewing, as well as a Yocan EX Go V2 mod that takes 18650 batteries. So yeah, as I said, we'll be going over the Favotank tonight. It's a new addition to the sub-ohm tank category, along the lines of the sub-tank, Atlantis, Freemax Star, everything like that. This is my first experience with a sub-ohm tank and pre-built coils. The only time I've ever used pre-built coils were when I first started vaping over 2 years ago. So, it's been an interesting experience, but initial impressions are I really like this thing. It's made by Yocan. The capacity of the tank is 4.8 mils, so it lasts quite a while. It comes with 3 coils, which is one of those is the sort of unique thing about this tank. It comes with a wickless tank, or that's what they call it. I'm not sure they should exactly call it that, because what they actually mean is that it doesn't use the normal wicks, the fibrous wicks like cotton or rayon or silica or anything like that. Instead, it uses ceramic sticks. That's what they call it, ceramic sticks. A direct quote from the box: "The wickless coil is built with ceramic sticks, which provide a purer and more tasty vape." They also claim that it's healthier, but jury's still out on that one. I'll let everyone else form their own thoughts on that. But yeah, it comes in a nice box like this. I'm really impressed by this thing, especially the wickless coil. The OCC coils were average from other sub-ohm tanks that I've tried. I don't own any other, but I've tried some, and they seem on par with both the Heracles, the sub-tank, as well as the Atlantis. Flavor from those is pretty good. So, but yeah, the wickless tank is really, or wickless coil is really nice. The flavor from it is spectacular. So, I've was really surprised by that, because I've always been a rebuildable kind of guy and all about flavor, not dim clouds, yo. But I've really like the flavor from this thing, and I've been enjoying my 3 days vaping on it so far. So what I'm going to do is vape on it a little bit, and then I'll take you up close and take a look at what comes in the box and a close-up of the tank. Then we'll zoom back out and go over some pros and cons and whether I recommend this tank or not, as well as I'll be doing a giveaway at the end of this. Giving away, I think I said this already, but yeah, one of the Favotanks and the Yocan EX Go V2. Okay, so yeah, let me vape on it a little bit, and then we'll go up close. By the way, the wickless coil is 0.5 ohms, and I have it set at 3.9 volts, or 30 watts. Seems to be its happy place, at least in my opinion. That's where I like it the most. Vapor production's really good. The flavor's great as well. I really can't complain about that. I'm really happy with this thing overall, so especially the wickless coil. So yeah, alright, so now I'll take you up close and we'll take a closer look at everything that comes in the box. Okay, cool. Okay, now we're going up close to check out the box and everything that comes with it here. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so Yeah, as I said, this is the Favotank or Favotank. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to pronounce it, but by Yocan here. Okay, so this is the box. It comes, tells you what comes in the packaging. The ceramic, contents of the kit. The Favotank atomizer, one wickless head, one OCC head, which it should actually say 2. Because this thing does come with a total of 3 coils, which is pretty cool. Replacement glass tube and a user manual. It's got a scratch-off thing for verifying authenticity, as well as a scannable barcode. Okay, how to open the box. It's kind of like a dresser of a drawer. You just slide it on out. Okay, and it comes with, to start, Yocan card with the individualized serial number, telling you to share them on the back. User manual, which is actually pretty extensive and tells you how to fill it correctly and everything like that, and how to adjust the airflow, as well as a card that tells you cautions, things to make the vaping experience a little bit easier with this thing, making sure you fill it correctly, and also it details the coils here. Hopefully you can see that. For the 0.5 ohm wickless coil, it says 20 to 35 watts. The 0.2 ohm OCC, 20 to 60 watts. And pay attention to this one, 0.5 ohm OCC coil, 20 to 150 watts. That does say 150 watts, which I was pretty skeptical about, to say the least, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, let's see. So, inside the box you get your, the Favotank, obviously, a 0.5 ohm, the wickless coil, replaceable glass, 0.2 ohm coil, and the 0.5 ohm OCC coil is inside, already installed. It does come with a glass trip tip, which is nice, but it's pretty long, and makes the overall tank pretty bulky, which I like more compact setups, so I tend to put my Derringer drip tips in there to make it a little bit smaller. It's a nice looking tank, and it's got a great capacity, 4.8 mils, so almost 5 mils there, which is nice. Lasts for a while because this thing is definitely thirsty. Definitely drinks the liquid. It can be completely disassembled. This top piece, the chimney, is removable, and this base piece, it's all completely, you can completely disassemble it and clean everything, which is nice. So first I'll show you how to fill it here. Just unscrew the base from the top here, and it's got 4 large holes in there that you can easily use a dropper from a glass bottle, or one of these that I am more fond of, the plastic tips like that. Super easy to fill. Unfortunately, it's not top fill. I know that's a bummer to some people, but I really don't mind it. It's easy enough to fill. I've had no leaking with this thing, which has been great. It's my biggest worry with these things is, will it leak, and I haven't had it leak once in the 3 days that I've had it. So, go over some of the airflow settings here. It is a airflow control ring, and it clicks into place, which is nice. It's kind of like the Nautilus in that manner, or the Nautilus. I've never played with an Atlantis, but I'm sure it has the same. It's got 4 airflow settings, the first being just a single 2.5 millimeter hole, the next being 2 2.5 millimeter holes. The third is a Cyclops style, 2.5 millimeters by 6.5 millimeters, and the last is also Cyclops, 2.5 millimeters by 9.5 millimeters. As you can see, it is only single side airflow, so that might be another kind of bummer for people who really like wide open airflow. For me, it's totally fine. I am more of a flavor chaser than about dim clouds, but it produces, or it has plenty of airflow for me, and for the average vapor it should work just fine. Another nifty fact is it has a spring-loaded 510. I don't know if you can see it moving there, but it definitely does adjust, which is nice. Let's see, what else can I really say? Oh yeah, how to replace the coils. It's just like any other Favotank. You just screw the coils into the base like this. And you can take these apart pretty easily and rebuild them on your own. You just need pliers to pull these two pieces apart right here. But they are easy to rebuild if you ever wanted to get into that sort of thing. Okay, so now I'm going to bring you back out wide, and we'll go over all the pros and cons and talk about the tank in general. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Thanks for bearing with me here, everyone. As I said, this is my first review video, and I'm just trying to get used to it here and how things should flow. Okay, so yeah, that was the close-up of the video, or the sorry, the Favotank. And now we're going to go over a few pros and cons and talk about whether I recommend this tank or not. Okay, so the Favotank. Let's start with some pros. The flavor on this thing is really nice. I can't complain. The wickless coil does produce great flavor. I'm not gonna lie about that one. That's my main goal with vaping, is the best flavor I can get here. Okay, so some more pros. It comes with a lot of stuff. The box comes with a lot of stuff. You get 3 coils, which is pretty good. Most only come with 2. You get an extra glass tank section, and you get your glass drip tip. So it comes with a lot of stuff. That's nice, and a nice protective box here. The box is really nice. I know it's a fucking box, but it's nice. It's really easy to set up. You don't have to rebuild or anything. Coils just pop in, pop out. The wickless coil is especially easy to change flavors with, which I found nice. That's one of my biggest detractors with pre-built coils, is it's difficult to change flavors unless you keep a coil per flavor. And when you're someone like me with vaping 5 or 6 different flavors at all times, it becomes a little difficult. So with the wickless coil, it's really easy to change flavors. Let's see here. The tank has a large capacity at 4.8 mils. That's a lot. I mean, I go through maybe 7 mils a day, so this, along with dripping, would last me an entire day, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about refilling all the time. It does, if you're vaping at higher wattages, it definitely drinks the liquid, so be aware of that, but as all sub-ohm tanks do at high wattage. So, let's see what else. It hasn't leaked since I got it, which is 3 days now, and about 4 refills, changing flavors and everything like that. It hasn't leaked at all, which is really nice. I'm actually really surprised by that it hasn't leaked at all. Not to say that it won't, but it definitely hasn't yet. The 510 connection is definitely adjustable. I wouldn't say it's spring-loaded, but it does move around and sits in place, both by the coil and once you screw it onto your mod. But most mods come with spring-loaded 510s anyway, so it doesn't matter much, but it was a nice touch. The AFC ring is like Nautilus in that it clicks into place. That's pretty nice. It get caught sometimes and vibrates, but it's a nice touch. And despite not having top fill, it's super easy to fill. You don't have to worry about it leaking when you screw it down. So I'm going to give that a thumbs up overall. And with how much juice it holds, you shouldn't be refilling all that often, only when you have time for it. So Okay, for cons, when I first got this thing, the second I opened it, I could smell it. It smelled new. Um, it smelled really strong, like I'm not gonna say machine oil because I looked it over pretty good and I didn't see anything, but it just smelled new, and that definitely carried through into the flavor. I gave it an extensive cleaning using isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush, and brushed everything down, and that eliminated the smell for the most part, but it did remain in the coils. So it took about one run through of the tank to get rid of that taste and smell. But after that, it's been a champ, and the flavor's been really great. So next con is the single side airflow. That's probably going to limit a lot of people who really like wide open airflow. Um, and along with that, between the 2.5 by 6.5 Cyclops and 2.5 by 9.5 Cyclops, I don't notice any difference in airflow. And I think that's because the airflow is actually limited by the holes in the bottom of the coils, the 4 intakes there. So the difference between there is not noticeable, but I vape it on the 2.5 millimeter holes, so it doesn't really affect me in any way. No top fill, you know, whatever. It's okay. It's easy to fill, and it's not a pain in the ass. So, I mean, that'll be a con for some people because they like the top fill. I mean, my Lemo has got it, and my K-Fun 4 has it as well, and it's nice, but it's really not a big deal to fill from the bottom. But some people may see that as a con. It's cumbersome. It's a big tank. It's big. It's bigger than the Lemo 2, and wider too. This is a 23 millimeter tank, and especially with that glass drip tip on there, it is cumbersome. It's a big tank. Okay, so the 0.5 ohm OCC coil. As you guys saw, they recommended 20 watts to 150 watts. Yeah, not so much on that 150 watts. When I first got it, I started at 50 watts with a 60 VG liquid, and it did fine. Turned it up to 70 watts, and it started having some dry hit issues. I took that liquid out and put in a 40 VG liquid, so 60 PG, and that did a lot better. It did fine at 70 watts, and turned it up to 90 watts on my Snow Wolf here, and it did okay there, but I could definitely tell it was on the fringe of producing dry hits, so I'm not so sure about 150 watts. Maybe on the third Tuesday of July, when all the planets are in alignment and you have the perfect liquid, you might be able to break 100, maybe 115, but 150, I'm going to say, I don't know if anybody would ever be able to get this thing there without dying. The 0.2 ohm coil was fine throughout its recommended wattage range, 20 through 60 watts. Okay, I think that's about everything. So now, we're going to go over the giveaway. I am going to give away one Favotank and one EX-Go V2. It's a 18650 mod, regulated but not variable voltage or anything, so definitely for beginners, but it was built to go with the Favotank in a kit. So what we're going to have you do is subscribe the YouTube channel in the description below the video. All the directions will be in there. There will be one winner who will win both of these items, so you can put it all together. It doesn't come with a charger or 18650, but I'm hoping that people will have those, but it's free shit, so yeah, cool. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this got a little long, and thanks for bearing with me on my first review video. Yeah, I'll see you guys around the forum. Okay, thanks.